counted. Fans email and say, you've done this many pieces, different characters. I don't keep track. But they've been a real blast. We've been doing a long time. And they've come a long way. And I think Marvel is what makes everything possible. You know, if Marvel weren't driving this, we probably wouldn't be able to do all the other weird stuff we do. We've done some weird stuff that's worked out well, and some that hasn't. Some lines we would have liked to go a little longer, some lines went a little too long. But it's really, we look at it as a toy category, not just a line. So we try to think a little longer term and building towards something. So those of you who saw the Toy Fair coverage saw the Elite Brigade, the Minimates, the Pirates. You know, that's the direction we'd like to do more of, our own kind of ideas and creations and stuff. And hopefully through sales of the hardcore fans and Toys R Us, we've got a strong enough following now that we think kids are collecting it and buying it, and you know, they're kind of interested in imagining their own universes, not just recreating new ones. We give a lot of Minimates away at school, and it's kind of fun to see the first thing kids do. They instinctively know just take them apart and make them into different characters, and parents curse me. Like, I got this big bucket, I keep backing me up, the dog's chewing these pieces, but kids like automatically just take them apart and do new stuff with them. So a lot of the Max vehicles and the Elite Brigade, that's all kind of interchangeable, and trying to play off that play pattern idea. But with the police and fire, it's also great army builders for guys who collect Marvel and that stuff. You know, now you can have real world stuff mixed in with your Marvel characters. So that's what Minimates are, kind of quickly. And if you're here, you must like them, or you're really tired and you want to sit down. So if you have questions, just start shooting them up and come up and get Battle Beast. Then you're off the bottom of the booth.
I have two questions.
How many Battle Beasts do you expect?
I don't know, whatever. Is there a giant master list somewhere? You said you don't keep track of them, but on your website, I noticed it's hard to find just a master list of everything, like Marvels, DCs, this, that, the other. Is there a place we can get it? Do you have a PDF we can download?
Well, we do
all the exclusives, all that where we could have gotten them, or
we do we call it the Where's Waldo poster that comes in the Minimates. If you bought one recently, there's a big picture with like every Marvel Minimate on it. Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Yeah, if you buy a newer Minimate, it comes with a little insert inside the package. It kind of folds out into 3 or 4 pieces, and the majority of one side is just a big, huge picture of, as far as we can keep track, every Minimate we've done for Marvel. And sometimes a fan will email and say, "Oh, you guys missed this one. You doubled up this one." They're pretty accurate. The other thing is on Minimates.com, we've done some visual guides to some of the stuff, so you can find.
Jesus. Okay.
There you go. We call it the Where's Waldo poster because
you have to look for it.
Yeah. But then there's individual like lines. We've done a Ghostbuster one or whatever, but no, we've never done some big all-encompassing. You know, it might be somewhat difficult. Some of the license holders don't play well with each other.
So you couldn't put it even just like on a list?
A list, yes, but a visual guide would probably be difficult.
Yeah.
A lot of, it's like, well, this is Fox and this is MGM and all that, but we've never done one. Who is it?
Minimate Database.
Is that, Minimate Database. Is that the name of it, though?
Yeah, we're just looking up stuff like that off guys.
Yeah.
Like where you can find, or when they came out. And
he's got release dates, he's got pictures
Holy
front
crap.
and side.
That's the one. Yeah.
Minimate DB.
Just database.
Oh, database.
One whole word.
Awesome. The other one is, why did you guys change from the initial couple releases? All their heads were the same size, all their bodies were the same size, and then it looked like when DC started, all of a sudden they kind of got headgear and some other extra stuff, and you sort of built them out.
Yeah.
It's more shoulder pads and things on their heads and stuff. Like, what was why the change?
That's an ongoing thing. The DC stuff is somewhat. Are they here? Anyone here? It's always going to be an anomaly. They said if you want to do them, DC Direct has to do them, which means they are directing them. They did them how they wanted. It wasn't. We didn't have final say. We worked for them to do that, and the idea of having Batman in that universe was really important. So it could really, that was the missing key. So they did different scales and some stuff that we don't normally do. We won't do different size Minimates. Like you get the big chest accessory kind of thing, but we won't have a bigger character and a smaller character. It's all one scale. So how DC, and I think it was Lord of the Rings, did different sizes, that won't happen again. And it happened in between Asylum on their own and Asylum with us, and plus DC's influence. And then the other thing to battle with the line is constantly the designers are trying to evolve it and do new tricks and cool new stuff, and I keep trying to pull it back to more of the simple stuff, and it's just, they do something really cool. Okay, like Iron Man, where it's like a full Tony Stark figure underneath. If I had my way, you guys wouldn't have got, we wouldn't have done that. I would have kept them much simpler, but the designers keep pushing it further. Like the pirate stuff we have is crazy. You know, if you see at the booth, it's really super over-designed and not simple at all. So Digger and I, when we started, we really wanted the simple stuff, but it's definitely evolved, and I try to pull it back a little bit, and Robert and Uwe and those guys pull it, and I pull it, you know. It's just one of those things. I prefer simple. A lot of you guys probably like the extra pieces and the extra, you know, whatever, but I like them simpler personally. Sorry.
Thanks. Oh, another one. Thank you.
Speaking of the extra pieces, will there be any more ships? Like there's the TOS shuttlecraft I've seen. Or will there be any more Trek shuttles or anything like that for the Minimates?
I might have made a mistake starting with Battlestar Galactica. It had been shown a few years before at Toy Fair. Fans were asking about it. We're doing okay with the Battlestar stuff. Toys just wanted something different to kind of push the price point up a little bit. It seemed like a good idea at the time. They really, really didn't do well. Really, really didn't do well. So we're committed to doing the next line that you've seen us advertise. We think it's very strong with the Galileo. Basically, if Marvel's not here, the X-Men jet. It's a stealth jet, you know, and the DeLorean, you know, or we can't call it DeLorean, the time machine. If that does well, we've got more stuff like the Max vehicles, and there's also, if we'd like to do, we've had to pull back a little bit because the sales on the Galactica were a little disappointing. So if this next wave doesn't do well, then we're probably not ready for vehicles. If we can't sell the time machine and the shuttle and an X-Men jet, I don't know what, I know Ecto 1, you know, but we can't do that right now. But I'd like to keep doing a couple waves of vehicles a year, if, you know, it works out. I'm not gonna throw that up there. You can come get it. Where's Waldo poster?
Two things. One is, when are you guys gonna make me a Jubilee already? Because I'm dying.
You dying? Are you sure you don't want Kang?
I want Jubilee.
Who wants Kang? Come on, who wants Kang? Who's from Multiverse? There we go. That's my guys. No. The more you ask, the more I say no.
Just do it anyway.
I might. My son wants to know if his Jeep is charged. I don't know. I think so. Is that an answer? I hate these questions because, like, I want to answer everyone and tell them the answer, but then I get in a lot of trouble, you know, because they're like, well, now we can't announce it. We've done a lot of 90s X-Men recently, and there are a few characters we haven't done, and it would be kind of smart of us to do them at some point.
Yes.
But
I agree.
the real answer sometimes, though, is I don't know how many times Thor was on a line plan and got dropped at the last minute, or Deadpool was. A lot of characters, like people ask, why did you do our Aunt-Man, Uncle Ben? A lot of times when we do a draft of line plan, they're on there, and then when we go to production, figure the tooling and how much we have and all that, we kind of have to make some changes. So even if I say Julie's the next wave, it totally might not be. You know, we might have to make some change, or we'll have someone come in and ask for an exclusive, and we try to link that stuff together. But we know that people want Kang, Professor X, Jubilee. There are some naturals to fill out lines. You know, we'll see what we can do.